guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a TikTok book review, which is a review of all of the books that TikTok recommended me, I bought and read to review to you guys. So I have my notes here and my books on the side, and yeah, let's get into it. The first book, what do I feel like I'm announcing America's Next Top Model? The first book we have is, drumroll please, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book, let's get into it. I'm gonna be breaking down each book by genre, my rec, which is who I recommend this book to, a summary, and a rating out of 5 stars. So let's get into it. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book is the genre is a historical fiction drama, and I also added LGBTQ plus with a capital L, if you know what I mean. Anywho, let's get into my recommendations. So I would recommend this book to anybody who's looking for a page turner. Like, you need to be like constantly given a lot of suspense and what's happening next. Like, this book was that book for me. I definitely read this when I was at work or just anytime I had free time, and I could not put it down. This is also a good book for old Hollywood lovers, based on the summary I'm gonna read to you. So, Monique Grant is a magazine reporter chosen to write the biography of Evelyn Hugo, an aging Hollywood movie icon. Monique listens to Evelyn's story from making her way to LA in the 1950s to her decision to leave the show business in the 80s, and of course, the 7 husbands along the way, which is basically her biggest scandal, or is it? Unexpected friendship and a great forbidden love. Monique begins to feel connected to the legendary star, but as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clear that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. Dun dun dun. For The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I rate this book a 5 out of 5, simply because I could not put it down. I would definitely recommend this book to anybody who's also starting to just get into their reading journey as well. The second book we have is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, which is a very popular author that was recommended on TikTok, and that honestly started my reading journey. Not this book, but the sequel, the other book before this book was honestly what started my reading journey in 2021, I think. The genre is romance, and it added like sequel if you're looking for like parts in a book. And then I recommend this book to all the girls who love Coho, which stands for Colleen Hoover, and anybody who's looking for a cutesy, just romance to make you feel good type beat. Summary. I'm gonna give you 2 summaries because I haven't read this book in a minute, so I'm gonna give you my version and then the book's version. So first, Lily is starting fresh, but now has to consider a possible new love interest who actually isn't new and is an old character from the previous book. Not sure how to balance being a mother, tolerating her ex-husband. You have to read it to understand. And exploring rekindled love. She trusts her gut and takes a major risk for her life. That sounds crazy, but she takes a risk that, you know, could potentially stir things up. Okay, there might be some spoilers if you haven't read the first book, but I'll get into this summary. Lily and Ryle have just settled into a civil co-parenting rhythm with their daughter Emerson, when Lily suddenly runs into Atlas nearly 2 years after they last spoke. Elated that the timing finally seems to be right to give what they have together a real chance, Atlas asks Lily on a date. But Lily's excitement is almost immediately replaced by dread and anxiety when Lily remembers that Ryo, though no longer her husband, is still very much a part of her life. If you know, you know. I hate that man. And though Ryo would dislike Lily dating anyone but him, Atlas Corrigan is the one man he absolutely will not stand having in his ex-wife's and daughter's lives. Told from the perspectives of Lily and Atlas, It Starts With Us gives readers a deeper look into Atlas's past as he and Lily reconnect and rekindle the love they shared as teenagers, while navigating a volatile ex-husband who believes Atlas to be one of the reasons his marriage with Lily ended. It Starts With Us picks up right where the epilogue for the glorious and touching USA Today, It Ends With Us left off, giving readers the exhilarating sequel to Colleen's best-selling phenomenon they have been begging for. That's a good description. Rating, I rate this book 5 out of 5. You know, I love Colleen Hoover. I might be, biased just because she writes pretty good books, in my personal opinion. But yeah, I also can't wait for the movie version of this. I watched the movie version of It Ends With Us, and I need them to do this one as well. I need them to do this one justice. The third book we have is What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli, I believe. The genre is young adult romantic comedy, which I didn't realize. I did not realize this was for young adults. I thought this was like college aged. I don't know. I didn't realize they were in high school. But it's still really, really good. My recommendation for this book is anyone who's looking for an enjoyable gay romance. And gay romance that's not toxic and cliche. You know what I mean? If you know, you know. Okay. So the summary is, guy meets guy, then loses guy, and is determined to find him again. After hard effort and no luck, he gives up. They bump into each other again and decide to go on a date. They start dating but are troubled with ex-boyfriends, lies, and ultimately living in 2 different states. Can they make it work? My rating for this book would definitely be a 5 out of 5, and it's definitely biased because of the representation in the book. I love a gay romance and I love to see it happen. The next book we have is a very, very, very recommended book. Anytime I saw a TikTok of this book, it was just girls crying in their bed reading this, and I wanted to cry too, so I got the book, and it is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Sorry if I butchered your name, but this genre is a naturalistic novel. It's kind of like lifestyle content on YouTube in a sense, but also it has a lot of trigger warnings. Just to put it out there. SA, SH, DA, all the A's, honestly. But it's still a good book, but just to warn you, if you are sensitive to those trigger warnings, I would take that into account before reading this book. My recommendation for this book is Relatable NYC Girlies, because the book is in NYC, New York, and anybody looking for a good heartbreak, and not necessarily the heartbreak you're thinking, just heartbreak in general. Your heart might break after reading this book, but the way you feel for the main character, it's worth it. It's honestly worth it. So let's get into the summary. This novel covers a group of friends living in New York. It explores each character, including a lawyer, an artist, an architect, and an actor. From struggling to make your dreams a reality, friendships versus relationships, childhood trauma, and more, you get a deep dive with the focus on Jude, who is the main character that you grow very attached to. So this book is a 5 out of 5, obviously. It's like 800 pages, I think. 814 pages. This took me a long time to read, especially because, okay, I can't lie. Some of the chapters are filler chapters, in my personal opinion. I didn't really care for the stories of some of the characters. I really just wanted to read the main character's story. And they would do this thing where it'd be like, they would get into some juicy content about the main character. And then they would cut it off immediately and then go into the next chapter talking about a different character. I'm like, give me what I want. But it honestly kept me sticking around to read and to find out what actually happened for the main character. So yeah, I definitely recommend this book. Also, again, just to reiterate, it does have a lot of trigger warnings, so research this book before if you are sensitive to certain trigger warnings. Thank you. The last book we have on today's book review is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I believe that's how you pronounce the last name. This book, the genre is a coming of age story, and it's almost like a memoir, but also a letter to the main character's mother, or the author's mother as well. My recommendation for this book is LGBTQ plus representation, of course, and first generation children. That's my biggest recommendation. This would be great to read about and possibly relate to. I'm gonna give you two summaries because this is like, I don't really remember exactly this book. I'll give you one I wrote and then one the book wrote. So let's start with the one I wrote. The main character is the son of Vietnamese immigrants during the Vietnam War. He's exploring the reality of caring for his family, exploring his own sexuality, and his trauma surrounding his relationship with his mother. So the book says, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. Written when the speaker, little dog, is in his late 20s. The letter unearths a family's history that began before he was born, a history whose epicenter is rooted in Vietnam. At once a witness to the fraught yet undeniable love between a single mother and her son, it is also a brutally honest exploration of race, class, masculinity, and our current American moment, immersed as we are in addiction, violence, and trauma, but undergirded by compassion and tenderness. The question of how to survive and how to make of it a kind of joy powers the most important debut novel of many years. That kind of ate, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely rate this book a 3 out of 5, and that sounds crazy after I just said I liked it. But what I wrote on my notes was the only thing I didn't particularly care for was the style of writing. Everything else was very heartfelt and enjoying. That's what I wrote. Like, I really liked it, and I liked the plot and the concept of it and what the author meant when writing this, but the style of writing wasn't my favorite. It's definitely something I'd have to get used to. But overall, the book was great. So that's it. I really enjoyed the books that I read, and I definitely would recommend picking out a few or maybe all of them if you'd like. And stay tuned because I'm also making a part 2 where I cover the rest of my books in my entire library. And I might be giving you a sneak peek right now. Okay. So in the next video, we're going to be covering Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, Verity by Colleen Hoover. Oh, what's the next artist? I mean, what's the next author? I don't know. Maybe a different artist? Maybe a different author? No. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and Getting the Love You Want by Harville Hendrix. If you'd like to get into the reviews of these books, go to my next video. It should be uploaded as this one is uploaded. Thank you for watching, and go check out my other videos. Also, make sure to comment down what you have on your TBR or to be read. Comment down if you've read any of these books or the books that I've already reviewed, and let me know what you thought about them. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.